Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to cover sectors. I'm going to break down what are sectors, types of sectors, and sector breakdown. So first and foremost, what are stock sectors? Now, stock sectors are categories in which stocks fall into based on which businesses share the same or a related product or service, right? So now, looking at stock sectors as a whole kind of breaks down like this. So we have the overall economy and we have the overall stock market, right? Now, the overall economy or the overall stock market are broken down into multiple sectors. There's multiple divisions, right? There's division like real estate, right? Technology. There's different sectors, different divisions of the overall market. So the sectors are broken down into those divisions, and I'll show you what each sector is. Once those sectors are broken down, within those sectors, there's industries of that sector and it goes down smaller. So basically, the overall sectors breaks down the market and puts it down in multiple pieces, and we're able to track each sector individually. So we're able to track whatever sector this is, we're able to track whatever sector this is. So let's say in sector 3 represents real estate. So if the real estate sector is doing well, what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to understand how every stock in that sector is performing. Right now, the question people have are what are the type of sectors? And then once we identify the type of sectors, let's dig in a little bit deeper. So the types of sectors we have are the following. So if you guys take a look, we have energy, basic materials, industrials, consumer discretionary, consumer staples, healthcare, financial, technology, communications, utilities, real estate. So we have 11 different sectors. So once again, the overall stock market or the overall economy breaks down into these sectors. Within these sectors, we have small industries that represent that overall sector, right? Now, let's say we look at the financial sector, right? The financial sector is down. Now, if the financial sector is down, we can look into every stock in the financial sector and we'll be able to identify that, okay, the overall sector is down. Not just one or two stocks in that sector, it's the overall sector. So it allows us to look at the bigger picture of the market and actually categorize them in each component. So that's what sectors represent. These are the 11 sectors that we have, right? Now, it looks kind of like this. Now you guys can see here, these are all the sectors. You can see this day, utility sector was down. Obviously the information technology sector was up about almost 1.5%, which is a lot, representing all of this. So the whole idea is to track the sectors to see what sectors are overperforming, underperforming, what sectors are taking a hit, what sectors are not taking a hit, just to have a big image of the market, right? Now, the question everyone has is how do sectors help us? Now, sectors help us diversify if we're investing and also help us to identify what stocks to trade. So let me break it down in simple terms, right? Let's say we're looking at, once again, the financial sector. I'm going to put finance. I'm going to put FIN. So once again, we're looking at the financial sector. Now, let's say for the past 6 months, and let's say right now we're investing or we're swing trading. We're investing or we're swing trading. We look at a stock, let's say we look at Bank of America, BAC, and we see that Bank of America in the past 6 months has been down 8%. The overall sector has been down 11%, for argument's sake. Now, we look into it because we're swing trading, we're going to hold the position for a little bit longer. So we go, okay, the financial sector has been down 11%. Bank of America is kind of down 8%, around the same almost. Now, why is the sector down? Okay, the sector is down because the Feds are cutting interest rates, for argument's sake, just using something. We're not saying the sector is down or not, just using something random. It's down because of this reason. Okay, now let's say moving forward, that reason gets eliminated and we see that this sector is bottoming out. Once we see that this sector is bottoming out, we then go to the multiple stocks. Let's put JP Morgan. We look at multiple stocks in that sector and we go, wow, JP Morgan took a huge hit after the sector dove down. JP Morgan on a chart setup also looks very, very good with a very high probability of going up. They also showcase a very great risk to reward ratio. So as swing traders or investors, looking at sectors would allow us to pick the right stock in that sector. That's one way. The second concept of sectors is if you are someone investing or swing trading, you're not going to buy JPM, Bank of America, Chase. You're not going to buy all the stocks, right? You're not going to buy all the stocks in the same sector. So you're not going to invest or swing trade 5 stocks all in the financial sector. Why? Because you think about it, the financial sector overall takes a hit, and financial sector is down 16%, and let's say the technology sector is up 7%. You're not able to kind of diversify your portfolio or diversify your plays, so that kind of messes with you as well. Right, and then the third component of day trading or of day trading or scalping is, let's say Monday you're looking to trade, you look at the sectors and you see that the technology sector is looking strong. The technology sector as a whole is getting good news, and when you see that, you're like, you know what? I see that the technology sector, based on this set of news or based on this set of event, looks like it's going to get a push today. So since I think it's going to get a push today, I will focus on day trading the technology stocks, and I will also watch the sector. Why? Because if the sector is pushing up, there's a high probability that there's some good setups in that sector, and those stocks in that sector are also going to probably push up as well. And that's how some trades are looked within from some people, right? So they're looking at sectors. Now, if you if you're not looking at sectors, it's fine. But just having an overall view of the market to see what sectors are taking a hit, what sectors are not taking a hit, even once a week, it takes like 5 minutes. Legitimately takes 5 minutes just to see how sectors are performing. It just gives you a clear view of what's going on. And then when you have a clear view of what's going on with the sectors, you're now able to say, okay, the banking sector, finance sector is taking a hit, right? The technology sector has been up 28%. Right, so you're able to start putting pieces together, and things just start making a lot more sense. You start knowing where to kind of invest in, what to trade, what's probably overextended, and you start finding better chart setups, and that's where you start putting the pieces together. Right, so now if you look at this right here, so this is 1 year of the following sectors. Now if you look at the energy sector has been underperforming. Now, knowing the energy sector has been underperforming, if I go back to some of my trades and I saw that I try to trade energy stocks, or I swing traded energy stocks and I lost money, it's because I probably didn't focus on the overall sector. The overall sector is taking a hit, right? Now, if I traded something in the information technology sector, right, I wouldn't look to short it, especially if I'm swing trading. I'm looking to buy because look at that sector. It's up 35% for the year about, which is huge. So looking at sectors and understanding it is very, very important. And you guys can access all of this. I'll show you guys where you can access this and how you can look at each sector in a bit. But you can obtain all of this information, see how each sector performed in a year, how it performed in 6 months, how it performed in the past 3 months, or even in a day or the past week. And just kind of having that in front of you allows you to just see the overall market, and it allows you to see what's going on within certain sectors. And then when you get familiar with the sectors, what you should do is when you start trading certain stocks that you trade consistently, if you are day trading, you should know what stocks represent what sector. That will also make your trading a lot more easier because you know what stocks are getting a push and what stocks aren't getting a push, right? Now let's break down some of the sectors and go in depth with each and every single one of them. So first and foremost, we have the energy sector. Now, what is the energy sector? The energy sector contains oil, gas, coal, and fuel companies, along with companies that build oil drilling equipment and services the company hire, right? Now, some companies in the energy sector are Exxon, Shell, Chevron, and BP, right? So these are some companies in the energy sector. Next, we have basic materials sector. The basic materials sector are chemical, construction materials, packaging, metals, and paper companies. These companies sell their products to other companies to provide the key supplies that are put into the products, such as steel for cars, plastic for packaging, and much more. Some of these companies in this sector are Dow DuPont, Scotts Miracle-Gro, and Sherwin-Williams, right? These are some of the companies in the basic materials sector. Now, moving on, we have the industrial sector. Now, in this all these sectors, once you kind of identify them, you guys are going to see what each sector's criteria is, so you kind of get a better idea of what stocks go in that. And even if you don't, there's a way to look at stocks and identify what sectors they go into as well, just to kind of give yourself a clear identification. Next, we have the industrial sector. The industrial sector contains defense, machinery, aerospace, airlines, construction, and manufacturing companies. Some of the companies in this sector are Boeing, 3M, UPS, and Delta. Right, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about some of these companies. Next, we have the consumer discretionary sector. The consumer discretionary sector contains companies such as retailers, apparel, restaurants, autos, hotels, media, and household products such as Amazon, Home Depot, Ford, Chipotle, and obviously much more. Beyond this, we have the consumer staples sector. The consumer staples sector contains companies such as food, beverage, tobacco companies. They're also manufacturer of household goods and personal products as well as supermarkets. Some of these companies in the sectors are Coca-Cola, Walmart, Costco, and obviously much more. Next, we have the health sector. In the health sector, we have pharmaceutical companies, we have healthcare equipment and healthcare services. Some of these companies are Johnson & Johnson, United Health, and Medtronic. Next, we have the financial sector. In the financial sector, we have companies that consist of banks and insurance companies. Some of these companies are Wells Fargo, US Bank, and Goldman Sachs. Next, we have the technology sector. In the technology sector, we have internet companies, internet software, semiconductor companies, also companies that included that manufacture electronic equipment, data processing, communication equipment, and IT services. Some companies in this sector are Microsoft, Intel, Visa, MasterCard, Salesforce, and obviously so on. Next, we have the communication sector. In the communication sector, we have wireless providers and cable companies and internet service companies. Some companies in this sector are Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and Comcast. And then we have the utility sector. In the utility sector, we have companies that consist of electric, gas, and water utility companies. Some companies in this sector are Duke Energy, Xcel, and NRG. And then finally, we have the real estate sector. The real estate sector includes real estate companies such as developers, REITs, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. They basically operate malls, offices, apartments, and so on. Some companies in this sector are Avalon Bay Communities and Simon Property Group. So these are the 11 sectors. These are what the sectors represent, and I also went over some companies that are in that sector. Now the question everyone has is, how do I track these sectors? What do I look at? What is the ticker symbol? So this is how to track each sector. So after each sector, I have a ticker symbol. So energy, XLE, basic materials, XLB, industrials, XLI. So all of these ticker symbols allows you to track each sector, which looks like this. So you guys can see XLB, XLC, XLE, energy, we have technology, right? So you can see everything going on. We have real estate, each sector, and you can see how the sector is doing for that day, right? Is the sector up? Is the sector down? Right now, obviously, these sectors are not going to make 10%, 20% moves a day. They're usually up 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, maybe $1 here and there. But just seeing that overall, let's say, I don't know, consumer discretionary sectors up. Trading certain stocks in that sector would be a lot easier. Seeing that the energy sector is down, I would not look to be a buyer in that sector today, because obviously that sector is probably on a downtrend or it's retracing. Obviously, we'd want to look at the bigger picture. But just looking at sectors, guys, is just going to paint the whole picture for you. Now, obviously, looking at this seems overwhelming. It's like, wow, I got to look at sectors too. I promise, once you look at it on a weekly basis and when you just go through your list, you just kind of get a feel of what's going on, and things just become a lot more easier. You create a routine, and within that routine, you now know, okay, how's the energy sector doing? I know right in the back of my head the energy sector is taking a hit, right? I know the technology sector has been rising, right? So seeing that and having that implemented into your head and just building muscle memory just allows you to remember these things and allows you to constantly keep progressing and understanding what's needed and what's not needed.